welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Carl, and this is Esper Phelia. Carl wanted to see Esper in Legacy, and we went back and forth on a few different types of builds, different ways to approach it, and ultimately he decided it was in my hands, but he's most interested in the card Phelia Exuberant Shepherd. So here we are in this Esper Tempo deck. It's not really fair to call this a control deck, even though Carl and I have been working together exploring control in Legacy, but I think Esper is better built a little lower to the ground. The goal, of course, of this deck is to stick something important and then keep your opponent off balance until you have overwhelming advantage or they're dead. Thoughtseize, Spell Pierce, Force of Will, good disruption here. Swords of Plowshares, great removal. Prismatic Ending, great removal. And then we have the full boat of Bowmaster, 3 Tamiyo, 3 Phelia, 3 Baleful Strix, 2 Kaito, 1 Overlord, 2 Murktide. Overlord can fuel faster Murktides while, of course, popping off with Phelia. This is just a thing the deck has access to sometimes. It's not a whole theme. There are, of course, entire decks built around maxing out on Phelia and Overlord, and that is your engine. That's not what's going on here, but I did want to include Overlord in my deck that also cares about Phelia. Phelia can flicker Bowmaster for extra pings, can flicker Baleful Strix for extra draws, can flicker Overlord for the full combo, or can just clear blockers as you push through. You can flicker whatever you want. Phelia also can reset a Planeswalker, and Overlord of the Baelmerk can get back a non-avatar creature or a Planeswalker. So Kaito is, if I have to -2 to stun something, Phelia could flicker him out, reset his loyalty, if that's useful to me. Overlord can mill past the Kaito. I have also included a Narset Parter of Veils in the sideboard to help with the Beanstalk matchups, and this is a very exciting one to dig up with Overlord or to flicker. You minus her twice, reset her loyalty, and then go again. Sideboard basically entirely locked and loaded for combo because that is one of the first hurdles you need to clear in this metagame. Make sure you have at least respected Oops All Spells, Show and Tell, that sort of thing, Nadu. And then you can figure out how you're going to win otherwise. Versus the creature decks, we just play our removal. Versus the control decks, we just play our creatures. And there it is. That's the strat. Let's try this out. This is Esper Phelia. I'm on the play in round 1. I've got a Spell Pierce into Phelia start. I'll keep it. My opponent's avatar is Overlord of the Baelmerk. They're showing me what's what. It's just a card in my deck. It's their entire lifestyle. There is a Meticulous Archive in the deck if I don't have to Spell Pierce on turn 1. I will not be casting Ponder into the darkness here. I both don't know what this Ponder needs to find yet, and I don't want to put the shields down in this potentially turn 1 metagame. My opponent just said in the chat we've met twice so far and they lost both times. Maybe third time's a charm. I'm going to do my best to make sure it's not. Respectfully. In the spirit of fun competition. Opponent has gone to 6. And I'm going to play my Polluted Delta and pass. Urza's Saga. Alright. Phelia says non-land permanent, so I can't reset the Urza Saga with that. We are gaming. Mox Opal. I don't think that's where my Spell Pierce should go. Okay, they ended up not doing anything. Meticulous Archive. I don't need a third Phelia. That's all 3 that I play. The deck was like, hey, this is me. This is Esper Phelia, right? Draw your Phelias. I drew a Thoughtseize, though. I'm going to take a poke at the sand to see what's going on over there. Phelia is very good versus Construct tokens, though. Oh, we're Red Painter. Fun. With multiple Urza Sagas. The Ancient Tomb is there, of course. I do play a few Wastelands in the deck. I guess I'll just put Phyrexian Dragon Engine in the graveyard. Feels bad, but, I mean, feels worse if they just cast it, right? And it turns on their Mox Opal and stuff. Force of Will, Prismatic Ending, Spell Pierce. I think Prismatic Ending could be useful. I'll tuck this Force of Will in my hand now. I draw Prismatic Ending next turn, and then I'll use Phelia to work my way through the Construct tokens. There's the Ancient Tomb. And land go from me. The first of many constructs. My hand is pretty heavily reliant on these Phelias actually working through the constructs. Another construct, then they'll get a tutor. Lava Spur Boots would be a bit of a beat here, but I have the prismatic ending, I can work through it. Grindstone was the get, and construct coming in. Oh, I just saw in the chat, my opponent hit me with the "joke's on you, my hand sucks anyway" that I say all the time when I get Thoughtseize. Kudos. I pitched a Spirit Guide, Fable the Mirror Breaker. This is the world's cleanest Spell Pierce I've ever seen in my life. End step Phelia, and then we'll start deleting constructs. Attack with Phelia, exile this construct. You can have it back at the end of the turn, except that's not actually how that works. And I think I just want to Prismatic End the Grindstone. That takes the pressure off of what if they top deck Painter, how do I play around that? And is Saga, Spirit Guide, and whatever they just drew for the turn. Saga's in. We might see the Spirit Guide as a creature. Ooh. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Is this something I want to mess around with? What does this do? I can't Spell Pierce it. I could force it. This lets them also cast the Ape. They can cast... No, they are one artifact short of the Ape. Okay. I am going to force this. This seems important and useful. Okay. Phelia versus Construct versus two more Constructs coming up soon. Need something good. How about an Overlord? All right, Ponder. Find me an Overlord. Or a Baleful Strix. Oh god, 3 lands is not it. Shuffle that. Gotta land anyway. All right, delete this construct. Phelia has been good for 2 straight up Ravenous Chupacabra moments so far this game. 3rd Saga, holy smokes. All right, tough crowd. Well, they can play their monkey here and still make construct tokens. Soul Guide Lantern, where the hell did that come from? Oh, did they pitch the monkey? They did. Never mind. They did that a while ago. Okay, forgot to click this out and was playing around fake information. All right, so I counted 1 piece of Graveyard Hate and they got another one right away. So are they going to value the number of artifacts they control? Potential Graveyard Hate against something they haven't seen me use yet? Or draw a card right away? I think drawing a card right away here is reasonable. Okay, the exiled Prismatic Ending, playing around that Snapcaster Mage. Swords to Plowshares. I don't hate it. I'm going to attack and flicker out their Mox Opal. That way, if they block, they do lose the construct. And I'm over here with nothing but Phelias anyway. Okay, the Opal's gone. I can have it back in the end step. Decided not to block. Make a construct. Unfortunately, I don't think I can afford to plow a construct. If it becomes lethal, or if they tutor Lava Spur Boots and they're going to hit me really hard this turn, I will consider using my plow, but knowing they're a Painter deck, and there are probably some... I'm not going to play around Pithing Needle. If that's their fetch, fine, you got it. But I'd rather see that than any of the other things. Yeah, there's the boots. And Great Furnace. Okay, so this is actually immediately lethal. Okay, I can save the most damage by letting them get into combat. That way they can't re-equip the boots. They gain an extra life this way, but just going to have to live with that. Blitzing out their life total was not going to be my plan anyway. I got a 5. Well, I need a very good draw here. Baleful Strix, Overlord of the Baelmerk. Prismatic Ending, I'll freaking take it. Okay, I am going to attack first, flicker out the construct. If they want to make another construct and eat Phelia here, I'm okay with that. But I got to get this construct out of here. I'm dead in a lot of different directions here, though. The 3rd Urza Saga is such a beating. Okay, I can exile Lava Spur Boots, and that's like the bottom basement way for me to stay alive. I chump block with Phelia and then lose anyway. Because their construct, even though they only have 2 artifacts now, will be 5/5 when it's go time. Or no, there's the Great Furnace. Will be 6/6 when it's go time. Yeah, we just sort of petered out here. The opponent's lands representing 6 creatures, 3 other artifacts, and a bunch of power and toughness, while I drew 3 copies of my redundant legend and nothing to actually flicker with it. That's not how you're going to win a game. They tutored Grindstone. And this isn't even like a good jump block. If this was Bowmaster or something, I would actually feel fine. But having to legend roll my tapped creature, then jump with my untapped creature, yuck. Alright, I will continue to play the game, begrudgingly. Yeah, what if this was just Baleful Strix instead? Okay, so draw Baleful Strix, hit another Baleful Strix, or hit a removal spell. I could still play this game. Bowmaster buys me a turn. Big draws. Wasteland. Thanks for showing up after all 3 years of sagas have run their course. Okay, to the sideboard we go. Null Rod, relevant here. Hydroblast, relevant here. Disruptor Flute can name Urza's Saga or Grindstone. Pest Control is excellent. Force of Will, pretty bad. They are a deck that can play 5 to 7 main deck Pyroblast usually. Spell Pierce had a moment that game, and then it pitched a Force. I think I'll play with one of these. I'm bringing just a bunch of better answers to what my opponent's actually doing. And one more cut. They might have Blood Moons. It's like in the colors and something the deck might reasonably do. Don't want to cut a basic. I don't think I ever want to go to 18 lands with this deck either. And maybe against like Oops All Spells, I could consider it. Strix is good. Bowmaster is only fine. Even though something like Bowmaster would have been great for all of that game. Maybe it's Murktide. Just cut a blue card. Okay, trying it like this. All the pieces were there, we just needed something to do with Phelia, other than tread water as we lose. Okay, I will keep this hand. Lots of action, got my colors. I can keep myself from losing to either Urza Saga or Grindstone, but not both. Tundra, Ponder, I know the matchup now. Opponent's on 6 again. I actually don't mind having some of these lands. I don't want all of them. I think I'm going to put Flooded Strand on the bottom of this stack, or Strand can get plains too. All right, Marsh Flats to the bottom. Draw Flooded Strand. And then I'll shuffle away the Marsh Flats. Next turn, Goblin Welder. We don't like that guy. It makes everything harder. I don't dislike it enough to Disruptor Flute, though. My plan was to get basic plains with this because I have Lorien Revealed for basic island, but that plan doesn't work because I have to get Underground Sea. Literally the only land in my deck I can fetch here. That works for what I want to do. Okay, we found a removal spell for Goblin Welder. Hope it's not too late. Oh no, we've gotten full tinkered here. Great Furnace is, of course, an artifact, and they can put whatever they want in the graveyard and then flip it. All right, the best they got is Grindstone. At least they don't have something like Chaos Defiler to start just shredding my life here. That could have been worse. This is a little dangerous. I would like to have double Plow up, or Plow plus Flute. All right, I guess I have to... I'm going to Plow the Goblin Welder and just have Flute up. Because here, if they flip their land into Grindstone, I could turn off Grindstone and they're also down a land. Okay, they are doing it. Sweet. Disruptor Flute named Grindstone. Just doing this right now. I could name Painter Servant. Then it's harder to cast. Now I'm going to name Grindstone. I have Swords of Plowshares in my hand. Or sack an artifact, return target artifact. I could name Engineer. This is actually a really tough choice. I'm going to lock down Goblin Engineer. It would take 5 mana to lose to Painter Servant right now, and I have a Swords of Plowshares in my hand. Yeah, let's just make sure that Great Furnace doesn't come back. Because while the combo does sometimes win the game ultimately, against Painter, Red Painter especially, you lose to their engines. It's the Welder, the Engineer, the Fable. Yep, there's a Fable now. These are the cards you actually lose games to. I'm going to start with Brainstorm. I have a shuffle in Lorien Revealed if a fetch land doesn't come up, and a fetch land did come up. I don't think I'm going to keep playing around Blood Moon. All right, I've got access to Phelia now. That can rename things with Disruptor Flute. It can delete this token forever. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass with Phelia plus Swords to Plowshares available. And the Goblin Shaman doesn't do anything unless it attacks, and Baleful Strix has Death Touch. And if it doesn't attack, I can delete it next turn for freezies. It's not really free, because if I'm deleting the Goblin, then I'm not flickering Strix. So I could flicker Strix and still have that up as a blocker for Goblin. But then they would just block with the Goblin. Okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, they're replacing their City of Traders with an Ancient Tomb. Painter Servant. Okay, I mean, it's here. If their hand is Pyroblast, they can win here. Because they get a treasure on the attack. As my kingdom come crumbling down. Okay, end step, Phelia. Okay, we've gotten to my turn. I'm going to fetch now because I don't want to draw those cards. Got Tundra. Okay, they clearly don't have Pyroblast. Now I have Thoughtseize. I can really see what's going on. All right, Thoughtseize you. Let's test the interaction here. I mean, if it's Pyroblast, I still lose. It doesn't really affect anything. Okay, they sack their treasure. Maybe I'm supposed to ponder first and try to find multiple layers of interaction. I'm just dead to a Pyroblast, though. Like, no matter if they Grindstone in response to Ponder, if they Grindstone in response to Thoughtseize, Grindstone in response to Phelia Trigger. If they have it, I'm already dead. Ooh, untimely malfunction. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. Okay, that's sweet. So now I have to Thoughtseize myself. I will take Lorien Revealed from my hand. And my opponent gets to see my hand, but I still make the choice. Cool. I haven't had a Thoughtseize misdirected in a while. All right, I'll discard Lorien Revealed. Then I'll move to combat. They don't have 3 mana to activate Grindstone with right now, unless they have some Spirit Guide, but once I go into combat, this one stops floating. Okay, sweet. I'm now in combat. I'm going to plow Painter right now, while what they can do about it is pretty slim. And then I can attack Flicker Disruptor Flute and name Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Okay, this turns on Goblin Engineer temporarily, but there's no artifacts in their graveyard. Well, there's the Great Furnace, but that's not the one I'm worried about here. Okay, Ponder, depending on what Ponder shows me, could affect what I name on the return of my flute. Okay, we're getting Great Furnace back in response using that Goblin Engineer. 3 lands, no thanks. Shuffle, found another land. I have Meticulous Archive. I will reveal my secret land. All right, Reflection of Kiki-Jiki is the card I'm naming. Phelia is up to 3/3. We're doing real damage now. Engineer, attack, end step, Meticulous Archive. Find the goods. Overlord of the Bailmerk. Marsh Flats, no thanks. Ponder, could be anything, even an Overlord. Pest Control, not good on this board. Any order, shuffle it. Prismatic Ending. Okay. Prismatic Ending's pretty cool. I'm going to attack and flicker my Disruptor Flute again. Reflection has Summoning Sickness right now anyway. Might as well get the extra power and toughness. And then Prismatic End the Goblin Engineer. What permanent would I rather have not in play? I guess it is Reflection. And then I'll name Goblin Engineer when Flute comes back. Okay, I got a 4/4. We're back into that spot where if I find something actually good to flicker with Phelia, we have a great game. And if I don't, I am in some trouble. Oof. Fury pitching Goblin Welder. Well, at least they didn't have the land to cast it. But it is now a Goblin Engineer with no abilities versus the top of my deck. And we know the card in their hand's not a land, or they would have just cast that Fury. Well, let's find out exactly what it is. It's another Fury. You're out of here. All right. 11 turn clock versus top of my deck. A Painter Servant from the top rope. Now something like a Braid or Untimely Malfunction killing my Disruptor Flute, or even finding a Goblin Welder that could weld my flute into a Baleful Strix is game ending. Bowmaster, sweet. All right. I'm going to just pass the turn pretty quickly. Hopefully I can do something cool in combat here. Okay, I can trade off entirely with Painter, or I could kill the Engineer and keep my Bowmaster. I think I want to kill the Painter entirely. That's the card that wins the game off the top. And if Urza Saga runs its way to completion, same problem. Okay, Source of Plowshares, immediately punished for my choice. But that's okay. It was right at the time with the information I had. And I'm going to hold on to this plow, use my life total as a resource. There we go. Goblin Welder, that card would kill me. I'm going to see if I draw another Bowmaster before I spend plow on that. I did not. Could never. Plow that thing. And I'm not going to block, so I have to attack. Those are the rules. Whichever way this goes, this is a fun match of Magic that we're going back and forth on here. Prismatic Ending. I don't think I can use that on Goblin Engineer. They just have too many terrifying permanents in their deck. Sometimes Painter has some number of lightning bolts in it. I gotta respect that as my life total starts to dwindle. A Pest Control that only kills one of my creatures. Okay. I'm not respecting Lightning Bolt yet, maybe next turn. But the possibility of drawing a Bowmaster or an Overlord that gets back Bowmaster, and then I just have the biggest creature in play, too good. I can cycle Pest Control if I'm starting to panic. Okay, we're at my turn. Ponder. Show me the goods. Null Rod, Disruptor Flute, land. I don't think these are the goods. I'm going to shuffle. Spell Pierce, certainly not the goods. All right, I'm going to chump block for a turn, and then I will consider cycling Pest Control next turn if I haven't found a real answer by then. Okay, they're scared of the possibility of Bowmaster number 2 and didn't attack. Kaito. That's exciting. Okay, I'm going to Prismatic end this Engineer now and get Kaito in the game. And they can Pyroblast Kaito on their turn. They cannot Pyroblast Kaito now, which means I want to get a card out of him before he's gone, just in case that is what's happening. Surveil 2, bin Plains, draw Baleful Strix. Let's get back into the business somewhere here. If they were sandbagging a Fury, that's actually really rough. Okay, Pyroblast, Red Blast. Played as well as I could around that card. Here we go. Cards are starting to show up now. Baleful Strix. Null Rod. Hell yeah. Null Rod. Turn off those 2 lands and any possibility of getting comboed out. Bowmaster in the tank. Spell Pierce just got a lot better too. Okay, they said a Mountain and a Pass. Swords to Plowshares. Let's go. Okay, they're down to 8. Uh-oh. So, Urza Saga. This is why I have held on to this Pest Control for so long. I think I want a Bowmaster here. Their deck doesn't really draw cards, and I would like to apply damage while I can. Looted Delta, no thanks. Attack. They're at 4. Okay, pass the turn. We know Lava Spur Boots is in the deck. I hope it's not in their hand right this moment. City of Traders. Oh no, I'm getting furied. Yikes. Well, that kills a lot of things. I no longer feel good about this game. Alright, I'll go to my turn. We need a blocker. Oh, Phelia. The pieces have just come together so poorly for me at every opportunity here. Alright, I think I am just dead to Lava Spur Boots here. They do have to go to 2 right now to make a construct because of casting Fury, but they're obviously going to do it. Okay, there's a 3-3. Oh, right, Lava Spur Boots. I have freaking Null Rod in play. I don't care about that. Tutor Lava Spur Boots. I dare you. Okay, you got a 4-4. They got the boots. They're trying to equip them, but that doesn't work. Put it back. Grindstone, that also doesn't work, but it does make Construct 6-6. Mox Opal. Okay, so they're all the way in here. I am going to Plow Fury and block Construct, because they're both lethal here. I wish I could just take some damage, but I cannot. But this Pest Control that I could have cycled 9 turns ago, it's turn 18, is about to get a 5-for-1. If that's even good enough. Oh my god, Brainstorm. A real card. Put back Spell Pierce and Polluted Delta. Play the other Delta, Pest Control. All your shit's gone. Tameo, whose clues don't work. But she's in play. And I have Hydroblast. Okay, they played Ancient Tomb, which kills City of Traders. I'm going to fetch Basic Swamp. Well, it's the only fetchable left. Good thing that's the one I wanted anyway. Disruptor Flute, holy smokes. Alright, I'm just going to make clues in case I can one day use them. Like, Phelia could flicker out my Null Rod. Am I out of Phelias? I'm never out because I have Overlord in my deck. Wasteland, park that in play. The next Saga is not going to Saga me. Opponent's at 4.5 minutes on the clock. That's going to be tough if we get a game 3, which I am, of course, hoping that we do. Brainstorm. That will flip Tameo. Get a clue. B-Storm. Tameo, wake up. I hit another Wasteland. Baleful Strix. Now I'm dealing damage as well. Second Wasteland in play. Things I'm worried about at this point are like 3 Lightning Bolts. But I don't think my opponent can do that before it's too late. Tameo can get spells back here. I could get back Lorien Revealed and cast it. That's pretty bad against Pyroblast, but they didn't kill Tameo. So I'm going to get Lorien Revealed. Okay, here's this card. And pass the turn. I could have cast Kaito there and put lethal on board, but I think having up this wall of interaction is better. Wasteland that Saga before it does a single thing. 11 cards left in my deck. Should be plenty. Alright, they are killing my Baleful Strix. You got it. I will not fight over something like that. Plus Tameo. Cast Kaito. Or, yeah, I want to cast Kaito. That puts lethal on board. Plus, my ninjas are lethal now. Pass. 0 cards in their hand. 3 minutes 45 on their clock. Game 3 coming. Alright, wow. Took me a while to find a spell to cast, but as soon as I did, we were moving, and then opponent flooded out pretty hard. Plague Engineer can name Goblin, which makes Goblin Welder not a thing. The Death Touch body can also trade with a Construct in a pinch. I don't think I'm interested in that. Just wanted to talk through it. I haven't seen a One Ring yet. Their deck could play it. I have my Null Rod and basically just Null Rod and a single Spell Pierce to deal with a One Ring. Not a lot of outs to that card. I could bring in Narset as an answer to potential One Ring that also digs for cards, so it's not just completely blank. Yeah, I actually think Consign is probably just better than Spell Pierce. Thoughtseize, now that I know they have the ability to redirect it to me, I'll shave one of those. Do I want Narset? I mean, it's a 3-drop that gets Pyroblasted. It can affect a One Ring that I haven't seen yet, or turn off Chapter 2 of Fable, which I don't care that much about. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Here we go. Back to the grind. No lands at all. I will be mulling this hand. Okay, Thoughtseize and a white removal spell I'll keep and put Ponder to the bottom. Their redirection spell costs 2, so unless they're willing to pitch a Spirit Guide, I think Thoughtseize has a good home. Interesting. This basic plane sucks pretty bad. I could just remove the Welder, or I could Thoughtseize their hand. Welder makes Thoughtseize a lot worse, though. If that was a Tundra, I could at least still double spell next turn, but now I can't cast Strix. I can't Thoughtseize plus Tameo. And now they actually are showing that stupid card. So I can't Thoughtseize them. Another Saga. Lotus Petal, that sucks. That gives them the ability to survive my Bowmaster. There's Phelia, another land. If I Thoughtseize them, they do not get a Construct, which is what the game is about to become about. I think I'm going to put back Tameo and Brainstorm in that order. So I end up drawing the Brainstorm here, and I get to keep the land. Okay, Thoughtseize, your 4 cards. Ensnaring Bridge, 3 lands. So they're all in on these Urza Sagas, which is a solid card to be all in on, all things considered. And Arena of Glory hidden in their hand means Goblin Welder off the top can be activated immediately if that's important. Okay, they used Lotus Petal. Oh no, did I miss a chance to kill their thing? I did. All right, I'm going to use Phelia anyway. Okay, I'm going to get... I guess I have my white mana stable, so I'll get another Underground Sea. Yeah, I think I just missed a chance to kill a Construct. Okay, opponent is attacking with 4 power. I'm going to let that happen because my plan is to Phelia and flicker these things away. Phelia's here. Ooh, the Re-Phelia. That rules. Attack, flicker out the untapped Construct. They did not make one to block. I love that for me. Baleful Strix. I found the Flute a little late. So they're going to get 2 more Constructs, and Lava Spur Boots is in the deck somewhere. Maybe holding Bowmaster to block more was better here. So Boots is an attack for 12. There's Mountain. Oh no. Okay. They tapped the red. I was like, am I about to lose to Lightning Bolt? So I go to 1? Jeez. That's a lot of beats. Okay. Hard mode. And we know they can develop haste creatures from their hand at any point. Alright, flicker one of these out. And do I Brainstorm? I think I just hold on to Bowmaster for dear life. There's the Arena of Glory. Do we have a haste creature? And if so, how fucked up is it? Goblin Engineer. Okay, so this thing that can be activated with haste or can just attack for 1. Dump to Painter Servant. Oh no. Oh no, 2 creatures. No, not 2 creatures. Yeah, spread the mana around for that. Swords to Plowshares. That I needed that sooner. I need an extra land. Yeah, I am going to lose by exactly 1 life here. If they leave back an engineer, then I have a chance, but they should just attack with everything. Yep. All right, GG. Tight one. Lost because I was 1 mana short. And to the sick Arena of Glory tech into the double creature. On to the next round. What a slog. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2 with a hand that is, like, not great at doing anything. This is Island Ponder Keep. I do have access to a bunch of lands. If they're a fair deck, it's actually fine, because double Tameo, they spend a removal spell in 1, still good. I can remove some stuff. I'm actually going to keep this. If they're combo, I lose. They mull to 5. Planar Nexus. Alright. Not great. I do have some Wastelands in my deck. I think I should start pondering. Just play one of these 3 Tameos. I've been really good at drawing all 3 copies of Redundant Legend so far in this league. If that's a skill, then I've got it, baby. Yeah, a couple of lands here. I do need lands to play the game. I don't think this game's going to be about Baleful Strix, so I will take the 2 lands on top and hope that whatever they do this turn is soft to Prismatic Ending. Thorn of Amethyst. Alright, that is soft to Prismatic Ending. Fun little rules interaction here is that Prismatic Ending does not care what the value of X is, it just cares how many colors were spent to cast it. So X equals 0, pay 1 for Thorn of Amethyst, exile it on curve. That was sweet. Another Thorn. So this is not Mystic Forge combo at all. This is something completely different. You know, it's a creature, this card. Oh, I'm just going to pass here, actually. They missed a land drop. I wonder if they're going to tutor something like Expedition Map. I am not going to fetch in response. If they get Pithing Needle here, that's better than them getting any card that is useful. I am not hurting for mana, but they are hurting for action. Yeah, if they get like Expedition Map and find Urza's Tower, then they jump a bunch of mana here. Candelabra. Alright, the Expedition Map was in hand already. I'm going to fetch my Meticulous Archive. Brainstorm. I will put that on top of my library. I think a Tameo Planeswalker ticking up sounds good. Attack. Brainstorm for 2 mana. Orcish Bowmaster, whatever. I think these 2 Tameos can go back in the deck, plus the Planeswalker version. I can get Prismatic Ending next turn, and they've missed their mana again, so they need to draw a land right now to get this Expedition Map going, and if they don't, I can exile it next turn. Wow, okay. That was tight and terrifying. Right, Narissa Saga deck, we bring in Pest Control. They appear to be in the market of imprisoning me somehow to do big Tron stuff. Consigned to Memory, of course. Null Rod looks pretty reasonable. I do like my forces. I could see Disruptor Flute having a home, but I'm not really sure what it is yet. Spell Pierce seems really good here. Swords to Plowshares doesn't seem that important. They might have some Glaring Fleshraker stuff going on. We know they have constructs out of the Urza Saga, but I gotta make room for my sideboard card somewhere. Maybe I don't want Null Rod. Because if their artifacts are lock pieces and their mana comes from lands, Null Rod doesn't do that much. It will have hits in the deck. We've seen Candelabra of Tawnos, we've seen Expedition Map. But we don't know if they're going up into... They gotta be going up into the ring, right? But why would a ring deck play Thorn of Amethyst? So Thorn of Amethyst actually lends itself to creature decks, like Glaring Fleshraker just this could be some Eldrazi Stompy deck that just got stuck on 2 lands and died. And maybe Swords to Plowshares is insane. Okay, I'm not bringing in Force of Negation, and I'm keeping 1 Swords to Plowshares. And until I have more information, this is the plan. And my hand is not exciting, but it does have Wasteland in it, which is exciting. Opponent kept 7. Let's see what this game's about when they have a hand that works. Expedition map. If this was a fetch land. I am not going to Wasteland this, because I think they're going to spend next turn mapping, and then I can waste the Planar Nexus after they've committed this. Oh, Tangle Wire, let's go. Alright, I'm a believer in whatever's happening here. Big fan. And step Brainstorm, because won't really have other chances to do it. Force of Will, so I just have to work through this Tangle Wire, I guess. And this Brainstorm lock. Okay, I'm going to waste the Tower, because if they have to spend 2 mana to get another Tower, or maybe I thought of that backwards. I think I was actually supposed to waste the Nexus. Oh, they just had a Tower. Okay. Glaring Fleshraker. This Force of Will in my hand, just pretending it's not there. Alright, I'm going to discard Prismatic Ending, probably. I think I'm pretty dead here. But I love what they're doing. I always approve of a Tangle Wire. Ancient Tomb. The One Ring. Okay, so they are a ring deck. This is not a card that can be beat by anyone. I'll use my Force of Will here. Could have forced Tangle Wire, could have forced Fleshraker. Found a One Ring with it eventually. Tutoring for Saga. They've got a additional win condition now. Found a land. Sweet relief. Murktide Region is almost live. Baleful Strix is almost live. I have to tap another land this turn. I can flash out Bowmaster before the Tangle Wire taps my stuff. Another one. Alright. This game is not winnable, even with Bowmaster going on. Okay, cool. Now I know more about their deck, and One Ring confirmed. Glaring Fleshraker confirmed. What do I do with this? Baleful Strix now looks kind of bad. Get some extra plows in here. Disruptor Flute can name the ring or Urza Saga. I don't think they're going to mess with my lands. Well, other than Tangle Wire. Alright, well, Tangle Wire is a reason to leave some of that in. Maybe that's too many plows. If I have the forces and consigns as well. Spell Pierce is looking extra important now that I know they're a Tangle Wire deck in addition to the Thorn. This might be too many Phelias, though how does my deck win at some point? Tamiya might be a little slow. Get the Flute in here. Do I think Null Rod is better than the second Thoughtseize? That's the last decision to make here. Yeah, I guess an additional answer to the One Ring sounds reasonable. Ugh. Got a mulligan this one, even though I like the Force and the ending. Okay, here we go. I'll keep this. First appearance of Overlord of the Balemark, and it's probably going to get sent to the bottom immediately. Though it is much more powerful than Kaito, and they both take black, but Kaito pitches to Force. I actually think I'm going to keep Overlord and bottom Kaito. I got Meticulous Archive to try to find a black source. We did it. And pass the turn. Force blue card, Overlord, Phelia is the plan. Or Phelia, Overlord. Phelia, Force, Overlord, etc. Okay, pass the turn. They've got their 4 mana, the magic number. Sphere of Resistance. This is not a card I can play through. Not yet. I'm not set up for that shit. Another one, Tilt. Alright, well, I will flicker that out and play Overlord then. Unless I just draw a land and we're good. Oh, kinda. Oh, that's so tempting. Alright, I will Wasteland. This time I'm going after Planar Nexus. I'll temporarily remove Sphere of Resistance from play, and then it'll come back. Alright, give me a turn to go apeshit. Urza Saga. Cycle for Underground Sea. Ooh. I like that Disruptor Flute. I'll work on it next turn, but I'd like to get my 5/5 going here and my card draw engine. Get back in Orcish Bowmaster. Attack. Flicker Overlord. We're doing it. Overlord comes back. There is nothing to return. The big whiffs. Okay, now I have a giant beater down. Their only plan is Urza Saga, which Disruptor Flute can beat. Disruptor Flute, they were F6. Urza Saga is the name. And then I just attack for 7. I'll flicker out Sphere of Resistance for funsies. We got a sad face and a keep up the good content. Appreciated, opponent. Finally doing something good here. Okay, cool. And this is something I was thinking about after round one, just the lack of action. Like I spent a lot of time round one hoping to just draw something that does anything. And obviously we know it is established in the Magic the Gathering deck building canon that Overlord plus Phelia is a powerful engine. I think I want at least 2 Overlords, maybe even 3, but at least 2. I was trying to keep this Esper tempo with some cool buttons you can press rather than just Esper Vial or black-white taxes with Spell Pierce. I was trying to like keep it further away, but I think you really should. Like 3 Phelia, 2 Overlord seems like a step in the right direction already. Okay, cool. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the play in round 3 with an Island Ponder Keep situation. Mana's kind of a mess. Soft to Wasteland, but I'm in. I'm going to Tundra Ponder. Opponent's also got 7. Tundra Ponder. Okay, multiple lands found. I'll take it. I'll stack it so I have Underground Sea in my hand now. I'm drawing Ponder next turn. That way if they do Wasteland me, I can cast Ponder to find my next lands. And if they don't Wasteland me, I can start casting spells. Street Wraith. So are we Doomsday or something far more interesting? Or are we Oops All Spell, something significantly less interesting? Street Wraith and Once Upon a Time in the same deck is cool. I don't know exactly what this is yet. Clearly someone trying to... Oh, okay. It's some sort of Hollow Vine Dredge adjacent Madness deck. I discarded Anger and Vengevine. Oh, all their creatures have haste now. Orcish Bowmaster sounds like something I might want access to. If they cast something like another Faithless Looting or a Burning Inquiry, I would like to light up their life. And if they don't do that, I have Phelia. Yeah, this is the Madness deck. Faithless Looting. Bowmaster. Hopefully I just get a creature big enough to tangle with a Vengevine. Ice Cold. Alright, they're dead. Plague Engineer on Rootwalla, of all things, is really good against their deck. I'm just quickly looking up to make sure Basking Rootwalla is actually a Rootwalla and not a beast or something. Oh, Lizard. Yeah, that's what it is. Alright, Lizard. Plague Engineer on Lizard plays. Narset collapses their whole draw engine. Grafdigger's Cage stops Vengevine from coming back, but doesn't stop them from madnessing things out. They are a red deck. Vengevine is a trigger. Madness is also a trigger. I think Madness is a trigger. It's when you discard. That's how that works. Containment Priest. Okay, I will not be thought seizing this opponent. Force of Will is tricky, because if I have it on turn 1 and can clip their initial enabler, they could struggle, but also it barely does anything after that point. I like my removal. I like Strix. I like Bowmaster. I like my big creatures. Kaito might not be great. Tameo might be a little slow here. And I think I will shave a couple of forces and focus on these 7 permanents, or 5 permanents and 2 Hydroblast I'm bringing in instead. All right, let's do it. Swords to Plowshares into Containment Priest. It's a plan. See how cooked I am on their opening draw. LED. Oh, God. Well, their whole hand might be coming into play. If this is any sort of median open, I'm not that scared of it. Oh, 2 LEDs pass. I like that. Swords to Plowshares. They could end step dump in a bunch of things with Madness, but if they have a Angie's Ravager, that's the card I'm most scared of here. I can plow that one. I think if they had Vengevines, they would have done this on their turn. All right, they did zap in an Angie's Ravager in the end step and discarded Ox of Agonis, which requires Escape 8. That's too much. All right, plow this shit. And now they have Lion's Eye Diamond plus the top of their deck. Sweet, let's go. Okay, now I'm actually going to get Tamiyo going because they've shown me that what they're doing is not actually that good, and I don't need this Containment Priest. Okay, they're just draw going. Blue to Delta, attack. I probably will Brainstorm here to get Planeswalker mode going, and I still have Containment Priest up. B-Storm. Phelia? 2 Wastelands. I don't think I need these 2 Wastelands. I might want mana number 4, though. Do I need Ponder? No. Alright, yeah, that's actually the play. My hand is already full of good cards. I have ways to spend all my mana. I have clues laying around if I need to start digging. And keeping my 4th mana lets me do more stuff with Phelia. Ooh, another Angie's Ravager. They are shooting their shot here. It's not going to work. Pew pew. And just like that, they're dead. Okay, sweet. Opponent tried to go all in. My Esper removal spells and creatures deck is pretty good against that. And after a round 1 that went to time, I've now finished 2 entire matches in under 20 minutes between them. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 4. Island Ponder Keep. Let's go. My mana is fine. Just need stuff to do with it, and I have 2 cantrips to make that the case. Opponent's on a Polluted Delta. I'm going to get basic Island and cast Ponder here. More cantrips. This is just leaning further into the hellhole if they do have Bowmaster, but I do have the ability to remove it. Xander's Lounge. We're playing in some sort of domain something or other. Beanstalk, probably. Brainstorm. I'm glad that wasn't up the Beanstalk. I'll take it. There's, I guess, a chance that they're just actually a Grixis deck and got their Tri-Land first, but most Grixis decks don't actually mess around with that. Right, Brainstorm. Daze is the only thing that could really go wrong there. Put the basic planes back in my deck. I have routes to get that if I need it. And I am set on lands at this point. I will deploy my Mighty Tamiyo off of a Tundra. Okay, Brainstorm did not shuffle, but had the option. They like all 7 of the cards they're looking at right now. They could go Beanstalk plus Leyline Binding right now. Get the trigger immediately. Burrow, okay. That's way less scary than what I said. I still don't like it, but there it is. Burrow's pretty bad versus Phelia, though. Really hard to keep that thing in play. Okay, Tamiyo, get in. Brainstorm. Tamiyo's going to flip. I'm going to put away Basic Swamp and probably Swords to Plowshares. I can worry about Swords to Plowshares later. Plus, Blue to Delta. I've got access to Bowmaster or Phelia here, whatever makes more sense when we get there. Opponent with 5 mana showing. That is Force of Will. It is not Solitude with the specific mana they're showing me. I'll go for Phelia. She just does more if she sticks. We're in there. Plus Tamiyo. Play my land. Play Baleful Strix. I want Phelia to do something when I attack. Okay, you've got your own Bowmaster. I also have a Bowmaster. They're going after the Strix, which is a little disappointing. All right, and got a Force of Will. All right, that's fine. So I'll draw a card here. Orc Army gets bigger. I'm going to attack and flicker out the Orc Army. If they also have Endurance in his hand somehow. All right, Force Pitch to Ponder. 3 cards left. 1 card short of Uro, which I can deal with. Bargain. All right, well, Uro has plenty of fodder. Looks like we're playing against a non-Yorion Domain Beanstalk control deck. Leyline Binding, definitely going to be in here somewhere. Plowing my Phelia. That's illegal. You can't do that to a dog. Multiple Spell Pierces, a removal spell. Right, I am going to Prismatic Ending the Bowmaster, even though I know Uro is waiting for me, because I have a hand and board full of ways to draw cards. that I would like to do instead. Force of Will, Flooded Strand, Swords to Plowshares. I have Uro covered already. Getting Phelia online on this board doesn't actually matter. Okay, I'm going to put the Force of Will in my hand and try to get to a draw half my deck situation next turn. Brainstorm's fine. 2 cards left in hand. Played a land. Here is Uro. That's not my fight. I'm worried about Leyline Bindings. I'm worried about Orcish Bowmasters. They don't currently have Bowmaster mana. There's Binding, which I can conveniently Spell Pierce. We got their team. And they're just done. Cool. All right, Tamiyo Coast to Coast. Domain Beanstalk. Narset is in the sideboard for matchups like this one. You could technically support Back to Basics or Harbinger of the Seas with this deck, but I wasn't interested in doing that. There's not that many matchups where that's important anymore. I don't have a lot of sideboard for this, and I think that's mostly okay. I'm going to cut a Plow for Narset. That's definitely happening. And I still like Thoughtseize. I like Tamiyo. Like, Plague Engineer on Orc means I get Arm Bowmasters and they don't. Force of Negation is bad against most of their deck, except for the Beanstalk itself, which I would strongly prefer doesn't come into play. But I have 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Thoughtseize for that. I have 8 answers between Spell Pierce, Thoughtseize, and Force of Will to their 4 Beanstalks. I think I have to bet on myself there. I could Meddling Mage, Naming, Leyline Binding, or Beanstalk. Grafdigger's Cage turns off Uro, but I don't care that much about that. Yeah, I'm just going to make that one change and go in. All right, Thoughtseize into Bowmaster. I don't have any blue cards to go with this Force of Will. Hand is otherwise nice. Ponder. And do I get the Underground Sea? This deck probably has between 1 and 3 Wastelands in it. That is standard for the build. You know what? I'm just going to play Orzhov Beats until I'm shown that doesn't work. Thoughtseize you. Bargain Plow. Force Brainstorm. I think I want this Bargain gone. That does the most over the longest period of time. Brainstorming now before my Bowmaster is online. Blue card, we did it. And now it's time to fling dogs and orcs at my opponent until they give up. Or they get out of it. Either one is likely to occur. Okay. They do not have white mana and can't get it this turn because they played Trop instead of the Tundra in their hand. They may have brainstormed away the Tundra, but that would be weird. Okay, they did not force this Bowmaster. They can Bowmaster it back, but they didn't. And they did not shuffle Ponder. Okay, this is fine. I'll Bowmaster theirs again. Then I have a 3/3 army to their 1/1 army. Oh yeah. Keep those orcs bowing. Force pitching Ponder, force pitching Tamiyo. We're just in the cheese tempo game now, folks. Tundra Swords to Plowshares were cards we have seen in their hand at one point. There's the Tundra. Is the Plow still here too? It is. I have a 3/3 to their 1/1. And they've gone up the Beanstalk. Dangerous, folks. Now I have a really interesting decision, which is pick off their Orc army. I could just end their Beanstalk right now. I don't think I'm going to end the Beanstalk. I think I'm going to try to cheese damage over. So Orc army attacks. I'll jump Phelia in here. See if I can get a cheesy little block. Right, Leyline Binding. Okay, that's a Leyline Binding spent. Obviously Beanstalk means they're still doing fine though. There's still a Bowmaster in my hand. Swords to Plowshares. Attack with Orc army. All right, they're at 7. I'm saving this Bowmaster. All right, 5 mana showing. They are getting smashed with a 3/3. I cannot, for my entire life, draw a blue source of mana. Okay, they've chump blocked. Brainstorm. Uh-oh. The 3rd Bowmaster. Are you ready? Oh, you are. Disappointing. Okay. Force pitching Brainstorm. That was a pretty high cost to force that, even with the Beanstalk. As Beanstalk has been worth 4 cards since I decided not to Prismatic End it. Swords to Plowshares, they're stable. Come on, deck. Oh my god. Alright, well. Yeah, you ever been just 5 for 1 and then sheepishly exiled the card that caused it? That's where I am. Bonus at 6, though. Kaito is a big problem for them if I can just get in the red zone at all. Worgen Revealed. That's a big reload. For fuck's sake, deck. Blue mana. It's turn 9. Oh my god. Okay, I think I'm losing now, but I am going to play it out. End step bargain. It just takes one cheesy Kaito getting in there. Volcanic Island. Uro. I think I want to save my plow until they play the backside. They get an extra card, but it commits more mana to it. And they have to eat some number of stuff out of their graveyard. Okay, Uro's back. Plow it this time. That's gone. They're back to 17 life. It's like I've done nothing this game. The game has restarted. Oh my god. Holy moly. What do I do with this now? What's your plan now, opponent? I got blue mana. A whole universe has unlocked. I'll play a card that dies to Orcish Bowmaster. Hell yeah. There it is. Found a land. Okay. They got 19 cards left in their deck. Is decking them possible? Beanstalk. Alright, 17 cards left. Yeah, we'll see what their win conditions are. If it's Uro, it's possible to get weird about it. Carpet of Flowers. Finally worth playing. Technically, I guess. I guess I want to play Tamiyo and pass. At some point, it will be worth it to just ponder into the Bowmaster, but I don't think we're there yet. Tamiyo can absorb damage now, and if my opponent doesn't respect Kaito, could be in for a nasty surprise. I think I'm about to get Lingus. This is a lot of mana in the pool. Yeah, Lingus for 5. That's pretty lethal. Okay, I'm dead. I'm dead. That was a tight one, and it might have been winnable. Obviously, like, if I Prismatic Ending the Beanstalk, then they don't draw 4 extra cards, 5 extra cards that game. But if their hand is like 2 lands instead of Leyline Binding Force of Will to trigger the Beanstalk, then I just win in spite of it. Tough to manage those spots like that. Lake Engineer for the Orcs. Like, Orcish Bowmaster, clearly a feature of their deck at this point. I have more of those than they do. But yeah, I don't think I'm bringing in Plague Engineer. Yeah, I'm just going to play the same deck again. I think it's the right build. I just got to line it up right. Okay. I will keep. And I think I have to get Underground Sea to try to play the real game here, get the Strixes going. I think this is my first appearance of Wasteland in the match. Tundra, Plow, sucks. Phelia, can't cast that anyway, so I'll just waste my opponent and hope this is bad for them. Oh no. Well, if they need that Wasteland... Oh, alright. They did a good job wasting me right when they needed to. But I did hit the land drop. And this can get Meticulous Archive. We know Carpet of Flowers is in their deck too, so this is not, like, even that reliable of a situation. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Meticulous Archive. Brainstorm. I mean, I'd rather see a land, but that is 3 looks at a land. Come on, deck, don't fail me. Didn't fail me. Good job, deck. Murktide Regent, Swords to Plowshares. Plow can deal with a Bowmaster. Murktide Regent, the second Baleful Strix, I think, are the ones I want to go. Alright, is it Beanstalk time? In my head, when I am thinking about what I want to do at a tournament, just any theoretical tournament, what do I want to play in Legacy? Do I want to do Beanstalk stuff? I'm not sure. And then I have a league like this one, where I play against Beanstalk with a non-Beanstalk fair deck, and I'm just like, Jesus, why would anyone do anything other than this? I am going to take my medicine and just try to fight over the Beanstalk this game. They have the Force, which replaces itself. I don't have counter magic. Carpet of Flowers. Alright, yeah, we're completely in the garbage at this point. Uro. Yeah, their deck versus my deck just seems so impossibly favored. I have to cheese. I have to, like, curve out, like, Thoughtseize into Bowmaster into their engine collapses, but if they have Uro or Beanstalk, much less both, I don't even know what my plan has to be. I guess I'll cast this Baleful Strix and try to draw a land to continue developing. Thoughtseize could help, but now Uro's going to be in play. Fetch for the Xander's Lounge. Now they have Domain. Put black in the pool. Yeah. Orcish Bowmaster versus Baleful Strix. Not the matchup you want. Another Wasteland. All right. I'm good. We don't have to keep doing this. On to the final round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in the final round, positive record on the line. Thoughtseize with Force Blue card to protect it. Let's go. Hope my opponent is a filthy combo sicko who I can dismantle here. They mulled to 6. Show me your secrets. Oh no. Alright, well, it is the opposite of that. I think I'm going to take Brainstorm here and just play with the information that I have. We've got Dimir Tempo, one of the premier decks in the format. It's like my deck, but without white. Wasteland off the top. Cool. Luckily, that doesn't actually affect what I'm trying to do. Lorien Revealed. Now I have a blue card to go with Force. And we still have perfect info. They have the card they drew this turn that we don't know about. Tamiyo. All right, I'm going to play Tamiyo and just pass. And if they try to Fatal Push it, I will Brainstorm in response. All right, fetch. This is an important Underground Sea because after this, Basic Swamp is my only source of black mana in the deck. But I think that's okay. All right, this is a turn where I did not get to activate Tamiyo. They could play Bowmaster, put her to 1, but Tamiyo lines up extremely well versus a Bowmaster plus Orc Army situation. Plus, am I going to force Bowmaster anyway? I don't really want to get caught with my shields down on a Ponder, so I will pass. Okay, they're going for the tap land. Dumped another Force. So either they're not interested in forcing, or they already have the blue card to go with it, or they're just desperate for a land or something that interacts with Tamiyo. Basic Plains. Well, I will deploy it. I think I am going to force Bowmaster here, even though I don't want to. Deck full of white removal. Kaito's bad, though. Oh, Petty Theft. That's worse. Yeah, I'll force pitching Lorien Revealed on that. We know they have Force. If they have a blue card to go with it, could have some trouble. Sweet. Okay, so they don't have a blue card to go with their Force, or they have something better to protect with it, which seems unlikely because this card is 1 turn away from winning the game. All right, I'm going to use my Bowmaster to fend off theirs. Okay, there's your Bowmaster. Dealing 1 to who? To me? To Tamiyo? The Bowmaster, of course, has to be answered before I ultimate Tamiyo. I'm going to go right now with my Bowmaster. We're in their upkeep. Kill your Bowmaster. It's before they could draw a card for Force of Will. Nethergoyf does not matter to me at all. Bowmaster is the card I have to respect here. I'm going to ponder and see if I can work my way around a Bowmaster. Or if they jump a Bowmaster in. Okay, so now I could Bowmaster theirs. If they've saved Force Blue card for this moment, they got the shit out of me. Okay, I will put Orcish Bowmaster in my hand. And I will take a little bit of a risk. If their hand is exactly Bowmaster Force Blue card, they win. Okay, so they're pushing my Bowmaster in response. That doesn't matter. So now I get half my deck. Cool. Should be hard to lose from here. Basic Swamp. Baleful Strix. Okay, Strix is in. This blanks the Nethergoyf. I also have a handful of removal, and all right, I'll start organizing this because this game is actually going to go a few more turns. Wow. Aggressively fatal pushing Baleful Strix. So their hand is Force of Will right now. I guess I will main phase a Bowmaster then, clear their Orc Army. That makes their cantrips worse. And their hand is Force of Will, question mark, nothing. I will block this Nethergoyf because Kaito is something that might be able to actually cheese and make a difference. Alright, so their hand is Force of Will, and nothing else going on over there. First appearance of Murktide Regent in the entire league. Yeah, I think I just want to play Murktide and win. There are still lands in my deck I could fetch. There's at least a basic island. Brainstorm, put back, Meticulous Archive, and what are the other lands? Fetch, basic island, big nasty Murktide. I misclicked. I meant to make that 8/8, but that's okay. I somehow don't think that's gonna be that important. Hit you with Kaito. Alright, they conceded to the Kaito, but not to the draw 22. Fair enough. Everyone's got to have a line somewhere. Plague Engineer, I actually like here. Narset I like. I don't like Force of Will that much. Not a lot for a Tempo Mirror in this build, and I'm mostly pre-built for it with my bigger creatures, higher top end, better removal. And that's happening. I guess I'm probably just going to leave 2 more forces in, unless I think Meddling Mage can do something important. Pest Control could kill Tamiyo's, Nethergoyf's, Orc armies, but I have 2 of those 3 things in my own deck. I guess cycling it is always live. I'll keep 1 force in, just in case. Another game brought to you by Tamiyo running amok straight to the tippity top of the highest mountain. That's where Tamiyo lives. Hey, mulligan this no-lander. Keep this 3-lander. And I actually think I'm going to bottom Tundra and just try to look for a Strix Phelia loop with force protection. The 1 Force of Will still in my deck. Nethergoyf. Alright, Pest Control. Where are you? I need you. Plague Engineer. Name Lurgoyf. It could happen. Stranger things have happened. There is not a sequence where I can play on basic lands and cast all the spells, because Phelia and Strix between them are all 3 colors my deck is. So I guess I'll just fetch Meticulous Archive this turn. Unless there is a face-up Wasteland in play, then I'll just not fetch it all. Underground Sea, Thoughtseize. Alright, well, I'll probably lose Phelia or Strix here, unless they want to take Murktide and turn off Force of Will with it. But I think Force and Plague Engineer are safe. Could be any of these 3, depending on what their hand is strong or weak against. Strix is gone, okay. So they left me with my Force Blue card, but collapsed my engine. Gonna get my Archive. Can't play around Wasteland here, so I won't. Tundra on top, let's go. I am gonna hide the fact that I just drew Tundra. Wasteland confirmed. Hiding my Black Source under this Flooded Strand for now. If they waste me, I'll just play Phelia. Another Goyf. Get it? Another Goyf. Another Goyf. Another Goyf. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. Okay, I might have to let Goyfs take a few chunks out of me while I wiggle my way into this Kaito. They could have been holding that Wasteland to turn off my black, or they could have been representing Orcish Bowmaster. Either one is a reasonable thing. Ooh, I'm getting Kaito'd. Don't love that. Yep. Containment Priest does eat that Kaito on entry, but that's not the card I have. Alright, so there's Surveilling, drawing a card. I could hit their Kaito with my Kaito. Oh god. Another Wasteland. Not a fan. Okay, they're wasting a Tundra. Snapping that right off. I got my extra land anyway. What happens if I introduce Kaito to this game? Nothing good. What are the words on Kaito? During your turn, if it has 1 or more loyalty on it, it's a 3/4 ninja with hexproof. Okay, so it still takes regular combat damage on its 3/4 body, and it is still susceptible to Death Touch. I could play a 3/3 Murktide region right now. That doesn't sound very good. Plague Engineer on Ninja sounds pretty bad too. Kaito comes in on 4 loyalty, so flickering that doesn't do anything. I don't want to pick up Phelia. Alright, yeah, I think I am going to play Plague Engineer. Just name Lurgoyf. I can fetch in a way that I don't have black, or fetch in a way that I don't have blue, or don't have white. Alright, Plague Engineer. Name. I'm still going to name Orc, even though there are Lurgoyfs in play. And I will attack Kaito for 2. And flicker this Nethergoyf. Or I should have flickered Plague Engineer. Damn it. That actually did matter. I thought it didn't matter, but getting Phelia 1 point bigger does matter. Shit. Alright, that was a spew. I have a 3/3. Your turn. Okay, they couldn't tap down. And I'll take this shit. If Kaito just doesn't get to do anything, it can Surveil 2 or make a Ninja Emblem. Ninja Emblem. Wasting my Black Source. 3/3 Murktide Regent still the best I could do here. Nethergoyf resolves. Thoughtseize that I cannot play. Oh, I'll attack Kaito. And now flickering out the Nethergoyf is actually correct. If I had played correctly last turn, Kaito would be dead right now. 3 damage instead of 2. Okay, there is a Bowmaster force pitching Kaito. They've got 2 cards in their hand. Kaito goes to 1. How cool would that be if it was dead? It's fine. We move on. Okay, 4/4 Murktide in the mix. I left Plague Engineer in the graveyard for the possibility of the... Oh, I'm just dead. I forgot that 4/5's coming back. Never mind, we're dead. Yeah, huge punt, not making my Phelia big, ended up being really important. Containment Priest contains Kaito. I have my own Kaitos. Containment Priest also has a cool side thing with Phelia, where if I flicker out another Nethergoyf, it doesn't come back. Like, this can become a machine gun. I think I do want Containment Priest in, and maybe -1 Thoughtseize. Or that one of Force of Will. Yeah, maybe I just want 0 of those. Okay, I'm going for it. New plan. No forces. Containment Priest in for some weird fringe side interactions. Oh no. Bad mana is the thing that would make me least excited to play against this deck. But my hand is otherwise very good. I'm going to keep and just hope that Surveil plus Draw plus Brainstorm don't betray me. Underground Sea, Nethergoyf. I have the Pest Control. Alright, deck, just show me a Flooded Strand on top. Thoughtseize, that's not it. Land. Overlord, we're so close. Brainstorm, don't do it. Dazed my Brainstorm, okay. We might just get Delvered out here. I am all in. If they have a Wasteland, I'm so far away from doing anything, and I'm just taking 2 every turn. Oh, bad news, everyone. Tamiyo, playing that on turn 1, I would have taken 0 damage so far this game, but that's not how it's going to be. And from a spot like this, now that it's happening, it's easy to be like, why didn't you mulligan, you dumbass? It's a Wasteland Daze deck? Yeah, of course, but I also had the opportunity to see 5 cards before that was a problem. And what if my opponent didn't have Wasteland and Daze? What if the top card of my deck was just Flooded Strand? I'll Spell Bomb. They can bomb me here, draw a card, and make Nethergoyf bigger. Or play Tamiyo, that's even better. I'll probably just concede this turn if I don't draw a land. Okay, we're dead. Dead with the Pest Control in hand. Okay, so I think this deck just wants another Overlord in it. Overlord seems as good or better than Baleful Strix, like, depending on your local metagame, of course. If it's all Delver players, play your Baleful Strixes, but I basically had this thing die to Orcish Bowmaster pings throughout this entire league, and it never did anything else. Overlord is not the same as just drawing a card straight up, but the high rolls with Phelia are a lot better. Maybe you just don't play this Spell Pierce. Maybe you play 2 Thoughtseize, 1 Spell Pierce, 2 Overlord, keep your Strixes. That's the way to go. Maybe if you have the Overlord stuff going, you don't need this many Kaitos. That's also an option. And you can build this how you want, but I think the most interesting and powerful thing going on here, if Phelia is of interest to you, is the Overlord. But if that's of interest to you, maybe I would encourage you to try a deck like Death and Taxes, where the whole deck is built to do stuff like this, and you don't have confusing hands like Phelia plus Spell Pierce, Force of Will, Lorien Revealed. There was a lot of games, a lot of turns of this league where Phelia attacked and either exiled something that didn't matter or exiled nothing. And that seems like loosey-goosey. Maybe you could even turn 1 Phelia into the Overlord, keep your Pierces and Thoughtseize. That's another way to go. Just round out that package. Because Overlord works without Phelia. Phelia kind of works without Overlord, but that's what you really want to be doing. Card advantage is what the deck is missing, which seems weird to say because 3 Tamiyo, 3 Baleful Strix, 2 Kaito, Lorien Revealed, Overlord are all card advantage, and then Phelia is more card advantage if you have a Strix or Overlord involved. But I kept hands that looked exciting throughout this league, and just 3 turns later, my hand was not exciting anymore, and my opponent still had 5 cards in their hand, because they were doing stuff like Up the Beanstalk and Uro, or Goblins, or Fables of the Mirror Breaker. I don't think I played against any stock-ups this league, but that's a card that also feels like it would be bad for this. Yeah, I dial more in on the high roll, the nut draw situation, the Phelia plus Overlord, and if you want to support it with Force of Will and cantrips, this shell is almost there, but you got to figure out what you're going to cut and make that a bigger part of the deck. That's where I would take this if I was going to keep doing it. Carl, thank you for the opportunity to explore this. I hope this got your creative juices flowing to iterate to the next step. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.